Good day, everyone. Let me present to you some examples for acceleration problems. Problem number 1. A car moving at 20 meters per second uniformly slows its velocity. Now it comes to a complete stop in 15 seconds. What is its acceleration? Let us know first what is the formula for average acceleration. According to the rules of acceleration, average acceleration is the difference in velocities divided by the time taken, denoted as average velocity is equal to change in velocity over change in time. Now, the change in velocity is equal to the final velocity denoted as v sub 2 minus the initial velocity as v sub 1. The value of final velocity is equal to 0 because the car slows down and stops at a time after 15 seconds from its initial velocity of 20 meters per second. Now the value for the change in time is equal to 15 seconds. Then substitute all values to the formula and will give us a result of negative 1.33 meter per second squared. The negative sign shows the direction of the acceleration vector, which is toward the negative x direction. For the number 2 problem, an object moves with constant acceleration along a straight line. If its velocity at the instant of 5 seconds is 15 meter per second, and at the moment of 12 seconds is 20 meter per second, then what is its initial speed? For this problem, it has two velocities given. The velocity 1 is 15 meters per second for the time of 5 seconds. Then, after 12 seconds, the velocity changes from 15 meters per second to 20 meters per second. We will use the formula for the average acceleration. The change in velocity from the formula is the final velocity minus its initial velocity. Now, let the initial speed denote as v sub 0 from a time of 0 second. Then apply the average acceleration definition at a time intervals of time at 0 with time at 5 seconds and time at 0 with time at 12 seconds. Then substitute all the values to the newly created formula. Now the result is 11.43 meter per second as the initial velocity of an object. Now let us proceed to the next problem. Problem number 3. For 30 seconds, the velocity of a car that travels with a constant acceleration changes from 15 meters per second to 50 meters per second. Now, how far does the car travel? We will try to use the first method solution. First method solution is without computing the acceleration. Recall that with constant acceleration, we have the following kinematic equations for average velocity and displacement. Average velocity is equal to first velocity plus second velocity divided by 2. We will proceed to the displacement formula to solve for the distance traveled by a car. As we can see, it has two velocities given for the time interval. Then substitute the values to the formula, which is 15 meters per second as the velocity 1 and 50 meters per second as the velocity 2, with a change in time value of 30 seconds. We can now solve for the displacement and give the result of 975 as the total displacement traveled by the car. Let us proceed to problem number 4. A motorcycle starts its trip along a straight line with a velocity of 15 meters per second and ends with 25 meters per second in the opposite direction in a time interval of 15 seconds. Now, what is the average acceleration of the car? For the solution, by using the average acceleration definition, for the solution, by using the average acceleration definition, we have the average acceleration is equal to the change in velocity or the difference of final and initial velocities over its change in time. The values for final and initial velocities are 25 and 15 meters per second respectively. Now let us observe the problem. The final velocity is in the opposite direction from the initial velocity. So we must include a negative sign in the final velocity. Then substitute all values to the formula until we get the final answer of 2.667 meter per second squared, which is the average acceleration of the car. That's all for today, and keep safe always, everyone.